Hi folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Axon TD Uprising. This is a game that is currently in development right now. The game will be, according to Steam, releasing in Q3 of 2023. Everything that you're seeing here is most definitely subject to change, and as such, this is not going to be a full-blown review. This is more of like a preview to show you what the game is like up to this point. I'll be happy to play a lot more of this game when it does release or it gets into early access, assuming that's what it decides to do. So, Axon TD Uprising is a tower defense game brought to you by the same folks who did Element TD and Element TD2. The big gimmick of this game is the ability to create the field as you play. There is a co-op mode. I don't have an extra key, so I wasn't able to test it, but there's, I want to say like 5-6 maps, something like that, that you can choose between. There's easy and normal difficulty settings. One thing I don't like about that is there's another tower defense game that Stardock made called Siege of Centauri, I think it was. There's like 10 different difficulty settings on that game. So even on easy, I feel like this game is an incredible challenge only because I don't know what all the towers do yet and how to counter certain things. There's a survival mode, should you want to mess with that. There's only 2 maps available on that right now because this game is so early right now. The leaderboards and multiplayer lobbies, all of that's kind of bare. There is a campaign, and while I really don't care about the story, one thing that does excite me about the campaign is a full-blown like upgrade tree, which I'll show you a little bit later. So what is the gameplay like? Well, it's a typical tower defense game where aliens will be spawning, or whatever, will be spawning from point A and trying to reach point B, and you're going to be placing towers down in between in order to stop them. There's a couple of cool little tools that you can use. There's like a little damage graph that you can enable, and it tells you what each tower is doing either for the entire game, for that particular play session, or for that wave. So you can kind of see what towers are effective, which ones aren't. I really like that. That's something that's really cool. Like in other tower defense games, you can upgrade your towers, assuming you've got enough credits to do so. You'll also be generating something called power, well, just power, in order to activate your abilities. If you've played other tower defense games, you know, sometimes you'll be able to call a nuke from orbit, call upon various things. You'll have the same capabilities here. And your ultimate goal is to survive all the waves and prevent the enemies from reaching their final destination. I played the first level of the campaign. It was typical tower defense. Again, what really I think drove me to be interested in the campaign, again, was not the story, but the tech tree. You'll see here that there's quite a number of different technologies that you can take, and there's about 3 different upgrades for that same skill. Some of them only are one-offs. But for the most part, like, I love the idea that you're just going to be stronger as you play. Now, whether or not you will be able to consistently grind out an earlier level to just keep getting tech points, I don't know. I haven't tested the game that much yet. I think I've got about an hour and a half. I was just trying to figure out, like, there's so many towers and so many different things that this one's good against this one's good against that. I was too busy just trying to keep my head above water in the easy mode. If you don't like the campaign, there's a quick play mode where you choose a beginner, intermediate, or advanced map, and you can even turn on God mode if you want to. There's also easy and normal modes, but like I said, easy I don't feel is easy enough. For a new player, I want to experiment a lot more. And while you can pick upgrades in between waves, I feel like I'm not given enough resources to really utilize what I'm being given. But anyway, all the different towers, there's like 4 different rows, and I feel like they're like different factions. Again, I haven't played the campaign to any length to really know, but like the top row is like all yellow turrets, and then second row is like this grayish stuff, and the grayish turrets, then the white turrets are in the third row, and so on. You've got your chain lightning turrets, you've got, you know, various turrets that can only be pointed in one direction, and then you've got all these abilities down here. In the quick play, you'll choose 8 towers and 2 abilities. And like I said, if you're new to the game, you're going to have a difficult time trying to figure out the optimal loadout because you don't know what they all do yet. Some are just like mines that you can place down. If you right-click on a tower, you can see the different upgrades that are available to them. You have to pick one of the three. In a typical tower defense game, you know, it's like you upgrade to level 2, then upgrade to level 3, then upgrade to level 4. Not in this game. You choose one of the special upgrades and how it behaves. One might reduce damage, but do something else, that kind of thing. What's cool on the map that I tested, that I messed around with, there was a rotator square, and actually it controlled which direction they were going to go in. I thought that was really cool. You also have a limited number of cell actions. In the bottom right, there's like cell actions. You can put blockers down, which act as walls. You'll be able to put tiles on empty spaces to sort of fill in the terrain to tell the enemies kind of where to go. So you're kind of shaping the terrain. So instead of putting a bunch of walls down like you would typically do in a tower defense game, you're just shaping the terrain. So again, it's a similar strategy when it comes to like whether you're placing walls or you're placing terrain. It's the same gimmick. Like it's the same idea. It's just, you know, this game goes about it in a slightly different way. Everything else was typical. My favorite part, I think, of this tower defense game was not only the tech tree and campaign, but in between each wave, you get to pick a reward, like one of 3 things, like a roguelite. You know, when you level up in a roguelite, it's like pick one of 3 things. Well, you do the same thing here. I really like that. Again, the map that I played only have 12 waves. And I feel like the power creep of these enemies, I was taking them out very easily around wave 5 or 6. And then wave 7 hit and bam, I was like overwhelmed. So I was clearly doing something wrong. But I feel like those rewards were not significant enough. I had all of these towers. I had some abilities that I could use. And I still felt like I was starved for money. Again, this game is still very early in development, so I'm sure balancing needs to happen. I would really like other difficulty settings that, you know, maybe increases the amount of starting resources in quick play by whatever. You know, just again, Siege of Centauri had 10 different difficulty modes, and I feel like something similar should be done here, especially for new players that are trying to learn the game at their own pace. But all in all, like, I like it. There's a lot of towers. There are a lot of different ways to upgrade them. There's an upgrade system in between waves, like pick one of 3 different things, whether it's more tiles to place or extra money, more blockers. Sometimes you get persistent upgrades that last for the rest of the game, or at least for the rest of the play session. I really like that. But I feel like those rewards aren't significant enough at this point in time. But then again, I'm more of a casual player. I feel like this game will definitely reward players who know their turrets in and out. They know exactly how to counter these enemies when they pop up. Like, that's not me. I'm a busy guy. I don't have the time to do that. So a more casual mode where I can, you know, just plop down whatever I feel like. I can watch just, you know, all these bolts of lightning fly all over the place. You know, just I would love a more casual mode as it stands, but I'm really looking forward to seeing where this game's going to go. But again, not a full-blown review, but I will say, please add this to your wish list if you like tower defense games. This one is pretty significant. If you guys haven't already subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.